Hello and welcome to CEO at Work. And this time, ET Now is at work. We are coming to you from Tata Power's Trombe power plant. And this power plant where we are standing right now is responsible for 50% of the total electricity production of the island city of Bombay. So yes, in Mumbai we are spoiled with good quality power, no power cuts, and that's really thanks to this lovely power plant at Trombe, which is managed and the electricity generated by Tata Power. It gives me great pleasure to welcome and bring on board Mr. Praveer Sinha, CEO and Managing Director of Tata Power. Thank you for having us over.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikunj.
We are standing at a place where I've been told that 50% of the total electricity which is consumed by Mumbaikars is generated here.
Absolutely right. And this is the lifeline of Mumbai power supply. This plant was set up way back in 1955-56. And since then, all these units have been operating and supplying excellent quality, reliable, resilient power to the island city of Mumbai.
So we can see this is the grid. That's where the coal landing is. And as far as I can see, this is a completely integrated process.
Absolutely right. And this is imported coal that we are using over here. It's a very good quality Enviro coal. Normally in the coal that is supplied in India has nearly 30 to 40% ash. The coal that we use over here has less than 3% ash. The plant has FGD. So in terms of the environmental concerns which typically coal-based plants, all those have been addressed over here. And that's why if you see over here, there is no smoke coming out of chimneys.
In a thermal power plant, and you cannot smell the pollution.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see the coal stackyard which is there, and the coal gets unloaded from the main ship onto these barges, and from barges it comes to the jetty, and everything is very neat and clean, and good quality power we can continue to supply to Mumbai.
Power prices in Mumbai are expensive also.
Yes, because it is imported coal that is there, and as I mentioned to you, this is a special type of Enviro coal which comes from Indonesia. Over there, there are certain mines which produce this type of coal. This coal, I'm told, also goes right up to the New York City, where you have a coal-based power plant which supplies to New York City, and it's a little expensive because of that. Also, because of the reliability of power, you need to have huge amount of N-1 and N-2 backup, and that is the reason that the power cost in Mumbai is little expensive.
There seems to be a renewed vigor in Tata Power for shareholders, for the management, and even for members of media. The Tata Power I used to track, and which I've tracked a couple of years ago, was more like a regulated business. There were challenges at every level. There were state discom challenges, but all that is history now.
I agree with you that during the decade of 2010, we went through a very difficult phase. We had the Mundra issue. We've come out of that. Many of the legacy issues that we had. We have also consolidated many of the investment that we did outside India. We divested from that. And all those money have come back, and whatever money that now we are putting is giving us good returns. So that's why you see our performance has improved drastically in last few years, whether it is in terms of revenue or it is in terms of the PAT or EBITDA or the returns on capital employed. And I think going forward, many of the new investments that we are going to do will give us much better results and much better yields. And you will see a very different Tata Power, which is all set for next 100 years.
Mr. Sinha, if I look at the commentary which you've set at the last analyst call, revenue would be 3x, profits would be 4x, return ratios, which is return on equity and return on capital, that will be in double digit. You're setting up a very high aggressive commentary. How will you achieve it? Because ultimately this business is a regulated business. Are you committing too much and too quickly?
So, if you see the whole narrative of our business is undergoing a change, and what has happened is that in last few years we have moved from regulated to many of the unregulated businesses. Now, while we have been doing the large generating stations and large transmissions, we are also now getting into various areas which will help us to improve our returns through market interventions and through the market penetration that we will have. Just for example, rooftop solar was a very small business few years back. We used to do something like 50 crores in 2018-19. Last year we ended up with something like 1500 crores, and we are expecting that this year it will be much more than that. So you can see that in just 2 years from 50 to 1500. Similarly, in solar pumps, from a 30 crore business in 2018-19, last year we did about 900 crores, and we are expecting that all these will grow much faster going forward. In fact, all of them I expect will grow by another 5 times in next 5 years. So that's the level of growth that we are seeing, and many of these are not regulated. So it just depends how good we are in the marketing of these, what sort of service that we can provide, after sale service, what sort of branding we do, whereby it becomes an aspirational product and the consumer empowerment takes place. So I think what we have set for ourselves is something which is definitely achievable.
But you've also said that you will not be investing in the traditional business, which is the power generation business, which is largely coal based. So when you are talking about your profits becoming almost 3.5 to 4x in FY24, that means the large part of the contribution will only come from new businesses?
Absolutely right. Many of the new business, whether it is the utility scale renewable of 2 gigawatt that we will add every year, or it is the rooftop solar or the solar pumps or the manufacturing. We are setting up the first 4 gigawatt cell and module manufacturing plant. In fact, we have been running a 500 megawatt cell and module plant for last 30 years. Not many people know that we were one of the first, not only in our country but globally also, to set up manufacturing for cell and modules in Bangalore in 1992. So I think many of the things that we are doing, we were suboptimal earlier, we are now going to scale, and all these will give us the type of opportunities that we earlier thought was never possible. And what we have set for ourselves, we have a very clear-cut roadmap. It is not that it is something which has just come as on a whiff. We have a clear-cut roadmap of implementation. How do we deploy it? How do we train our manpower to take up the leadership position?
Expect the traditional generation business to grow, or it will just be a low growth business now?
So our traditional business, which is our thermal coal, will not grow.
Okay.
We have taken a stand that we will not add any coal capacity. Of course, some gas capacities will get added, especially for some of our group companies where
those small projects.
Yeah, those are small projects, not very large projects. Some hydro capacities will get added in terms of pump storage activities, but the main growth will come out of our renewable business, and that includes everything from manufacturing to EPC to utility scale to rooftop to solar pump. EV business will grow very much. We will become the pan-India largest suppliers as well as a service provider of EV charging. We will also grow.
Can that be a needle moving business for you?
Not at present. We expect that once the penetration of electric vehicles increases, then it will become, because that many more homes will require. Everyone who buys an electric vehicle will have a home charger. They will require public charging for topping up the charging that they require to do. Buses will become, public transportation will become electric vehicle. So we will definitely see a huge amount of growth and momentum. But I would not say that it will really be a big number in terms of both revenue and in terms of the returns, but it will be a substantial number. The big numbers, of course, are renewable. Big numbers will also be in
What would be the
distribution.
numbers like?
I don't have exact numbers, but I can definitely share with you that it is the present our renewable capacity is 4 gigawatt and another 1.5 is under implementation. We expect that by 2027 we'll become something like 20 gigawatts.
So almost 5 times of what you currently have.
Absolutely.
That is only in solar.
That is only in renewable, which includes solar, it will include the wind, it will also have...
Wind is small for you.
No, we are today 1 gigawatt of wind, and the new solutions that we are giving are hybrid solutions of solar and wind together. We'll also have some of storage solutions coming up, because when you have to give 24/7, you need to ensure that you have power during periods when this sun or the wind power plants are not generating. And I think we will also be integrating with some of the other solutions that we have in mind. At some stage, we will integrate hydrogen also, so that we are able to give a consistent supply of power to the consumers.
So the place where we are standing, this power plant behind us,
Yes,
it is an operational power plant.
this is operational. This is a gas-based
Okay.
unit of 180 megawatt.
Okay.
This is a coal-based unit of 500 megawatt. And then if you see on the right-hand side, that's the 250 megawatt.
How come it does not? We're standing in an operational power plant.
Yeah,
As we speak, the machines are on, the turbines are moving.
yeah, absolutely.
I cannot feel anything. I cannot smell anything. How are you managing it in the middle of the city? Because this is again the old traditional thermal and gas-based power plants, oil power plants.
Yeah, this is a gas-based, this is a coal-based, and the type of operations that we do, we ensure that there is absolute cleanliness. You would see
Yes, I can see greenery,
beautiful garden around the plant. There is no sound. So this is the DNA of the company, whereby we run plants very efficiently. See, there's a lot of greenery and a lot of mangroves are there.
Yes.
And we have been protecting that for last more than 60 years. In fact, the mangrove area has increased over a period of time. And we take pride that we do all our work taking care of the nature, taking care of sustainability.
You know, I must share with our viewers that we are standing in power plant, which is a gas-based power plant, a thermal power plant, and there's absolutely no sound. It feels like it in our studio, where you can actually, it is completely enveloped with the outside sound, and that is, I think, the point which I just want to bring out to our viewers, that yes, power plants, if managed well in middle of the city, they can be ESG compliant. We are now at the control center of the Tata Power Trombe plant, and this in a sense is the place from where the large part of Mumbai's distribution and transmission is controlled. So Mr. Sinha, tell us about this place.
So this is the control center for the transmission supply that goes to Mumbai, the whole of Mumbai. For the distribution, it is the control for South Mumbai and part of North Mumbai. So all the consumers of BEST and all the consumers of Tata Power distribution, we control the supply of electricity to them. For transmission, of course, the whole of supply comes over here, and it controls the supply that is given to the Mumbai city. So what you see over here is a real-time supply of power, which is from the embedded generation, which is in Mumbai.
Generated here.
Which is the Trombe plant, from where nearly 930 megawatt is generated. And then we have the hydro plants, which is another 450 megawatt. And then there is the Dahanu plant, from where 500 megawatt comes. Over and above that, of course, there is, based on the load requirement, the supply comes through the transmission system from outside Mumbai into Mumbai. And you can see today's load, which is about 3,400 megawatt, that is supplied. And it is supplied again, there are different types of power plants from where the power comes. There are solar plants, there are wind plants, there are hydro plants in other parts of Maharashtra. There are coal-based plants from other parts of Maharashtra as also from other states. So all that comes here and is controlled on real-time basis based on the necessity of the plant to operate and also on merit order. So it's actually the nerve center of supply of electricity.
You are distributing power in Orissa, something which we spoke about. You are distributing also in parts of Rajasthan. Bombay really has been a big success story. How large can the distribution business become for Tata Power? Because as more efficiency has to kick in, distribution efficiency now is something which has been the need of the hour.
So we have 9 million consumers in Odisha. We have about 1.7 million consumers in Delhi, and we have 0.7 million consumers in Mumbai. Now, this business in the private sector, we are the biggest with 12 million customers. Rest of the private companies have about 6 million customers. So to that extent, we are the biggest in the country.
Is this an annuity business?
This is an annuity plus performance business. So there is a return on equity based on the capex that you incur, but there is also value added services and performance improvements that you carry out, and you get an incentive on that. So it's a mix of the annuity plus the performance benefits that one.
Are you investing in this business?
Yes, we are investing because whatever we invest, we get a return on equity. And this business requires continuous investment to upgrade the system. That means the transformer, the switchgear, the cables, the conductor. Also, the load increases. So over a period of time, we have seen that the consumption patterns have increased, new colonies have come, new buildings have come, new office complexes have come, and you need to cater to that requirement. Like Mumbai, a lot of metro stations have come, the new stations, and we need to ensure that the supply is given to them also. And these are requirements of any growing city or any growing state to that extent.
The Tata Group now at various group levels, even at Tata Sons level, is merging the subsidiaries. Tata Motors has done that, Tata Steel has done that, and I think Tata Consumer to a large extent has done that with merging Tata Coffee back. Tata Power also has subsidiaries. Is Tata Power the next one to move now?
Yes, so Tata Power is already on that track. You would have seen that we have created a renewable platform.
Yes.
And the purpose of creating the renewable platform was that we had large number of subsidiaries in the renewable business, and we are now merging all of them into one single entity. So we had utility scale businesses, we had rooftop, solar pumps, manufacturing. So all of them will get merged into one single entity, that is the Tata Power Renewable Energy entity, and to that extent we will become much slimmer in terms of the number of companies.
How many subsidiaries you will eventually have, let's say in 3 years?
We are looking at reducing it to less than 20 subsidiaries over a period of time.
How many do you have right now?
Right now we have something like 90.
90 will come down to 20.
Yeah. So that's the because we have also got some joint venture companies, like Odisha is a joint venture with Odisha government, or the Delhi distribution, or the Maithon Power. So some of those will have to exist as a separate joint venture companies. But rest of the companies we are now merging to see that all becomes part of Tata Power.
The numbers which we spoke about, which you also shared in the public domain, in terms of profitability growth, in terms of return ratios, all that could be done with the existing capital. You have enough equity and you have enough cash flow to support what you've shared with us.
Absolutely right. Of course, we will have to keep on taking debt for the new capacity additions that will happen, typically for the renewable capacities that we will be adding. But those will again be within the prudential norms under which we work. Our debt equity ratio, which has now come to a level of about 1.6, we expect that even with the enhanced debt that will come for the renewable business will be within that range.
3-4 years ago, Tata Power in a sense was not exactly the best performing company for the Tata Group. Now things have come back. Will you be a large contributor to the Tata Group? Do you think the terrain in terms of the electricity sector, the regulation in terms of relationship with Discom, how essentially recoveries are moving, can Tata Power now be a high growth company for the Tatas and a great return generator for the shareholders?
Absolutely right. As I mentioned to you earlier, our revenues have increased by nearly 50% in last 2 years. Our profit has improved by nearly 80% in last 2 years. And we do expect that now that our balance sheet is much stronger and the new growth plans that we have, where most of them are asset-light growth areas, we do expect that we will be a big contributor in the group in terms of our profitability, and we will continue to be one of the leading companies within the group.
So can I say that the car has just hit the highway and the highway right now is clear and soon you will be cruising at 150?
Well, I don't know. Whatever is the right speed, we will cruise at that. But what I can tell you is that we have a very clear-cut strategy of what needs to be done. And we are very confident of achieving. And
The vigor is back in your voice. You're not the Mr. Sinha I used to speak to pre-COVID. That time you were a bit nervous about the regulation and how essentially state dues were moving.
I agree with you that things have changed. Things have internally changed within the company, and we are more confident of the type of work that we are doing and the type of growth that we are seeing. We are also seeing that there have been changes, systematic changes also in the policy environment, in the regulatory environment, and all those are giving us the confidence that we are on the right track. We will be big players in renewable, we will be big players in EV, we will be big players in the distribution business and transmission business. In fact, recently we won some of the stressed assets which were there, and our existing operations will continue to perform very well because our existing operations continues to give us huge amount of cash for our growth businesses. So I personally feel that we are in a good wicket right now. Our growth trajectory that we have shared, we are confident of achieving it. The DNA of the organization is of innovation, of doing new things, and we will continue to follow that in the future years.
What is that one thing that keeps you charged up personally? You're in the power business, you have to really keep yourself also charged up personally.
So I think what is important is the type of innovation that is happening.
That's for the company, sir, but okay, just Sinha as an individual.
As an individual,
Do you read a lot? What is your hobby?
Yeah, I read a lot. I do a lot of reading, both the normal fiction reading as well as in my subject. I keep on keeping myself abreast with what's happening. I also play a few games, so I end up playing badminton and table tennis, and Sunday golf is something that I always look forward to.
If there's a signboard on which you have to put a quote and your favorite quote, what will be that quote?
The favorite quote will be that I need to continuously learn, and I think the learning urge, the fire to learn new things, I think that's the most important thing. And the second thing is that we should have the humility to say that I don't know and I want to learn more.
And who's one person who's influenced you the most in life?
Well, there are a whole lot of people. It is very difficult to say one person, but there are a whole lot of people. There have been a lot of colleagues, a lot of seniors who have been there, parents, teachers. The other day I was looking at my yearbook, the year I passed out from school, and I was seeing the quotes of my then principal, who is no more now, and he had talked about three things in life that as a part of parting gift when we were leaving school, he said, and he said that how important it is to have ethics, the discipline of doing the things right, and caring for people. And I think those stand very good to me, not only as a human being, but also that is as a professional. I find that is always the thing that guides me, and fortunately within the Tata Group, these are the ethos on which we live, and I continue to practice that.
Well, it's the first time I'm interacting with you post-COVID in person. So really nice to meet you. That warmth is back. Nothing like meeting a person, and nothing like meeting someone in person. But thank you so very much on behalf from everyone from ETNA for giving us tour of this wonderful generation unit. I, for one, never imagined that in middle of Mumbai we could be walking and talking and understanding how power generation is done, how the distribution is done, and a capacity which perhaps is completely ESG compliant. You cannot feel the heat of electricity generation here, and nor can you smell that there is any kind of a pollution, even though there's a thermal power plant here. Thank you so very much, and thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.